Okay, the webinar has started. I'm going to trust it has indeed. So, good morning, everyone. Everyone joining in. Yes, I can see the attendee list going in different ways with the numbers. So, good morning from Dublin, and whatever other moment of the day it is, wherever you're joining in from. My name is Vlad Glaveanu. I'm a full professor of psychology and director of the DCU Center for Possibility Studies at Dublin City University. And it is a pleasure to be co-hosting this international symposium, online symposium, with Constance and Laurent and with Ingunn Ness. And initially, it was supposed to be a little bit of an informal meeting in some ways. And then we opened registrations, and then the numbers kept increasing and increasing until we realized we have to run this as a webinar. So as many of you know, unfortunately, we won't have as much interaction with attendees, but we definitely welcome and appreciate all your comments. And there will be a short announcement about how to intervene and how to add your comments. But we're very excited to have everyone joining today, and we're very excited for the wonderful group of speakers and keynotes we have. And my duty really is to give you a little bit of a background to how this meeting is happening and why we chose, to meet again in December, because actually this has a longer history. And if Constance is gonna help me with rolling the slides, we're gonna go to the first, thank you. So the first time actually we met in a forum where we talked about the intersections between creativity, learning, and technology was in 2017. And it was a different time, a different age altogether, I think. And we serendipitously chose, I think it was always the first Friday in December. We didn't know what we were starting at the time. It was a collaboration between myself, based in Geneva at that moment, and the Center for the Science of Learning and Technology in Bergen with Ingunn and her colleagues. And then Constance joined in early on as well. So the first topic we ever covered in this series of meetings was creativity, learning, and technology. And then next year, we went to Bergen, and this was supposed to be always a movement, a physical movement between the locations. Initially, it was Geneva, then going to Bergen. And in Bergen, we had a wonderful second symposium. And that symposium was dedicated to interdisciplinary collaboration for innovation. And as you can see from the images, it was a wonderful, wonderful atmosphere. Now we move further 1 year, and we, of course, predictably come back to Geneva in December 2019. And the topic we chose for that meeting was real-world impact of creativity in education, organizations, and society. And then I wonder what happened that we had to go online. Yes, I think I remember. So this is December 2020. The world was where it was, and we went online and we had new frontiers because it was a good moment to think about, the new frontiers for everything. And we kind of retook our first theme and talked about creativity, learning, and technology. Then we skipped a year. Again, I think it was a bit of a COVID fatigue for everybody being online. But as soon as we could meet again, we restarted, and I had moved to Dublin, to DCU. So colleagues joined in Dublin, and we covered the topic of technologies for learning, creativity, and well-being. And finally, last but not least, again, we're doing our annual migration, as it were, and we went to Bergen just last year, an absolutely fantastic seminar as well, symposium on creativities. I think everybody might be tired of these words, these puns, but it really worked for this one, in the future of education and creative work. And I think what you can notice from all these meetings is that the topics we chose are always a little bit at the intersection between learning, creativity, innovation, education, the world of work, and of course, technology. And we have some outcomes actually that started from the very first meetings we had. Ingunn, Constance, and I, we edited a special issue at the time in the Creativity Research Journal from the very first seminar. Then we edited for another of our meetings, the New Frontiers one, another special issue that is open access. And then Routledge, during COVID, came to us and said, do you want to turn this into a book? Apparently, great interest in the topic of digital virtual environments. So we did that as well. So So, as we meet, we try to also have these little traces of the encounter. And in this case, we're recording the interaction. So hopefully there will be, we will be posting videos on YouTube afterwards. Finally, final thing from me to say, so one of the partners for this meeting is the DCU Center for Possibility Studies. All I can show you is this logo and an image of my university, two of our campuses, because actually the website is being put together now. It is a very new center, and basically we come together as a transdisciplinary community interested in creativity, innovation, imagination, agency, and futures. And technology has a big part to play in all of our thinking and all of our activities. Also, DCU and this center is part of a wider network, a possibility studies network that many people here attending or speaking are also part of. And when we release the videos, it's most likely it's going to be on the YouTube channel of PSN. So that was it from me, and I'm going to pass on to Ingunn, who comes from another center with a much longer history and much more to say. So Slate, Ingunn, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Vlad, and it's so nice to be here this morning. And here we see Bergen. It doesn't look like this today, I have to say. It's it's rather grey. But Slate, we are a national center, and we are located at the University of Bergen. And we are a leading center in the development of knowledge on how educational data can be used to support knowledge, learning, and teaching processes. So next slide, yes. And here we see Slate, the center. We are drawing on interdisciplinary collaboration. So we investigate the technological, pedagogical, cultural, ethical, legal aspects of learning analytics, and also artificial intelligence in education. And we promote the responsible use of technology in education. So we conduct integrated research that will advance the frontiers of sciences of learning, as well as informing education practice and policy. And here we are. I'm not sure it's quite updated, but we see that director, Professor Barbara Wasson, she is the leader of the center, and we have different senior researchers, PhD postdocs, developers, communication people, etc. So, and here we have some very brief AI research examples that we do. We have EduTrust AI and Trustworthy AI Synergy, which both are funded by the Trond Mohn Research Foundation. And it's about awareing, if you go, yes, thank you. It's about this, the last one is a transversal research program. And the primary objective is to raise awareness of the importance of trustworthy artificial intelligence, both academically and publicly. And moving on to this, we have learning analytics and synthetic data generation, unlocking the potential of synthetic data. And a project called Aspire aims to develop novel privacy and data protection methods that leverage artificial intelligence synthetic data generation. And also we have some projects within AI-assisted creativity and innovation. And this is in schools, higher education, and also in work life. And one of the projects that you will hear more about later today with André is the computer-assisted creativity and learning in higher education. And he will talk about how students experience co-creation with AI. And another project is Gen Collab, Generative AI for Creative Collaboration. And here we explore how generative AI can transform collaboration and learning by fostering creativity, dialogue, and also problem solving across diverse settings, across disciplines, sectors, etc. And the aim is to revolutionize interdisciplinary teamwork, to promote inclusivity in human to human, but also human to AI interaction. And we have trained a chatbot, Ness, and she can act as a facilitator of creative processes in groups. So I hand over to you, Constance.
Yes, thank you. Sorry, my computer didn't want to unmute me. Thank you very much, Vlad and Ines, for the introduction. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a quick overview of the program and a little bit how the sessions will run today. I just wanted to start by giving you an introduction as to why we decided to run this session and why did we decide to give it the subtitle of Asking the Right Questions. Because we've been working on education and technology for a while, we get a lot of questions about AI, and we found that they were often the wrong question. And these were also questions we were asking ourselves. And usually there are questions like, how do you stop students from using AI? How do we make sure that we don't all turn stupid because we are using AI way too much? Or things like, won't it take my job? Won't it make it obsolete to learn? And those who know me know I'm not a particular tech optimist. I've done quite a bit of work. My main area of work is actually internet culture and social media. So there is a lot of bad things there. But there are two things that we've learned from what happened with the internet and social media. Is the first one is that you can't put the genie back in the bottle. AI is here. It's here to stay. People are going to use it. Let's try to make the best of it, but also to make sure that we are aware of the dangers and we can address them. The second thing is that people will not use it the way it is intended to be used. It's not going to be used the way industry that are developing AI think it will be used, and it is not going to be used the way institutions think it will be used. That was not the case for social media and the internet, for bad and also for good. There have been a lot of amazing uses that came out. So what we thought is that we need to ask questions that help us anticipate these uses and really make the best of what is to come. So instead of asking how can we stop students from using it or cheating with it, we could ask how do we best teach them how to use it? How can we use it to improve our practices? That doesn't mean being naive. So there will be questions today related to ethics and what are the ethical challenges of AI, or to the data privacy issues that there are with using AI for education. We're also going to look at what happens when people actually use AI. So what does it change for their creative processes? How do students understand it and how do they discuss it? And also, because it's not a new topic, what has research said about it so far? So we'll have two sessions, one this morning and one this afternoon. This morning will run from 10 a.m. to until lunchtime. And we will start by a wonderful keynote from Mairéad. I'm going to let Vlad introduce her in a minute, so I'll keep some mystery for now because you will hear about her very soon. All I will say is that she's a huge specialist in digital education, one of the biggest, and I'm very excited to hear her talk. And then we'll have a series of paper. We'll start with Andre, who will present some of his work on how students experience co-creation with AI, where he has used Think a Lot protocol with students engaging with AI to see what is going on when they do it. Then we will have Patrick Connolly, who is a consultant in technology for Accenture at the Dock, who will give us the industry perspective on responsible AI and what is its past, present, and future. And then we'll end the session with a paper by myself, Vlad, Ingunn, and Joanna Litterat that is on reviewing 30 years of research on AI. So what can we learn from what has been done so far? So that's it for the morning session. Then we will give you a little break. And in the afternoon, we'll restart at 2. You will receive a reminder and the link again when we restart. And we'll start with Genevieve and Ingunn, who will talk about whether we can solve the privacy issues of AI by using synthetic data in education. Then Ron Bagato is going to talk about how you can use AI and chatbots for creative possibilities in education. And we'll end this with a paper by Joanna, Vlad, and myself, where we looked at how students discuss AI on TikTok. So we went to listen to what they actually say there. And we'll end with another wonderful keynote by Jason Gulya on how we can use AI to reclaim the human connection in the classroom. Jason is a consultant on AI and education. Most of the speakers for the afternoon are actually joining from the US, so they are not here now because it's the middle of the night. I see a question about the time zones. That's a very good question. This is all Dublin time. It's also, luckily now, it's also time 0, so that's very convenient in winter. So they are all for this time zone. And then we will end with a little discussion and some closing remarks. Before we start, and I give the floor to Vlad to introduce Mairéad, there were just a few housekeeping things. So we have a lot of people registered that will come at different moments. So that means there might be moments where there are a lot of questions. You can put all your questions in the Q&A, but I will ask you to check the questions of others. If you don't mind, you can upvote them. And then if we have a lot of questions, we will sort them by upvote. So you make sure that way that we get first to the questions that are the most important. And we probably won't have time to address all of the questions, but we will do our best. You can ask your questions at any time in the chat during the talk. They will just be answered every time at the end of the talk. The only exception I will ask is for Mairéad's talk, because she will use the Q&A at first to ask some questions, if I'm correct. So if you can just wait until she asks her question so you can type your answers, and that way we can just look at your answers and not have them come together with all the questions. The last thing is that you can use at the bottom of your screen the CC button to start the captions if you need, and that will help you with understanding what we say. So thank you very much, and I pass back the floor to Vlad. I'll stop sharing.